What's going on, YouTube? The Walking Dead World Beyond episode 3 just came out. So we're going to talk about the biggest takeaways, reaction, review, recap, all rolled into one video. So grab a snack and hit the like button, subscribe, click the bell so that you don't miss. And let's get into it. Welcome to WeSibs, West Coast, East Coast siblings, where we talk about your favorite movies and TV shows. This episode, episode 3, Walking Dead World Beyond, I feel like it's developing a pattern here. It's starting to feel slow in the way that it's developing. Kind of their MO has been to take an episode and focus on one character. This episode, it was primarily Silas and his backstory, and we'll get into that in a second. But I feel like if you use that MO throughout the season, by the time we really know every character, we're going to be more than halfway or around halfway through the season. And then every episode kind of just becomes filler, especially for minor characters. I feel like you could combine a couple of their backstories, tell us what we need to know, and move on. But that's the way that they're going for now. So getting into this episode specifically with Silas, he's got some kind of PTSD. He apparently killed somebody in his past. This was apparently before the world ended. His uncle and aunt took him in, and they are kind of rehabilitating him, helping him to get back to some kind of normalcy. But this explains a lot as to why he's been unable to kill walkers. And at first I thought this was for the entire group because none of them had killed walkers up until this episode. But no, by the end of episode 3, this episode, they were killing walkers like it was fine. But Silas particularly was not able to do it. And again, this has to do with his PTSD. Apparently killing somebody. We're going to find out more about this, definitely, especially as the group finds out. We found out from the audience perspective, but the group really doesn't know. And Silas had kind of let Iris in on it, kind of saying, you know, she was like, what are you afraid of? He's like, I'm afraid of me. But he thinks he's in a good place right now, especially toward the end of the episode where Felix and Huck are trying to convince the group to come back to Campus, Ohio, to the campus colony, which little do they know has been destroyed. Silas makes it clear that this is where he wants to be. This is where he needs to be. And so hopefully this will help him grow and develop a little bit more. You could see at the end, he kind of is befriending Iris. I don't know. Are you guys feeling a little love connection there? I don't know. I didn't know how to take it. It seems friendly, but perhaps a little bit more than friendly. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, the episode besides Silas focuses on the group as a whole escaping that tire fire. So Felix and Huck find the group as we expected to happen. They had been following some signs. We're not too sure who had been leaving them, but they're following them. They find them. And guys, this group is so green. They're lucky to be alive, to be quite honest. Hope has a horrible lapse in judgment and in the dead of night decides to enact Elton's plan to crank that siren to draw all the walkers so that the rest of the group can get away. This is such a bad move for so many reasons, and we've seen it from watching The Walking Dead. Make the decisions as a group, especially when none of you really have that much experience. You know, you can't betray people's trust like that. So I thought this was going to begin to create a wedge of mistrust between Hope and Iris, the two candidates, one of which will have to come out as the leader and really start to take on that role. But yeah, just a horrible decision. She could have died. She doesn't know what could have happened, and they wouldn't have known. She could have got the rest of them killed, you know, trying to find her. Anyway, so Felix and Huck, they use their experience and their combat experience and their experience dealing with walkers to help the group get out of the tire fire. Now, another thing I want to get into regarding Iris and Hope is Hope finally tells Iris about the night that their mother died. Now, I felt like this moment fell flat, to be honest. And it had been something that we were building up to for the past couple episodes. It felt like longer, but for 2 episodes we were building up. We knew Hope was holding this secret. She was going to tell Iris. And again, I thought that this moment was going to drive even more of a wedge of mistrust between Iris and Hope. But that didn't happen. We didn't get that at all. Iris pretty much brushes it off. A few moments later, they're happy-go-lucky, happy as can be. And so, again, I'm like, okay, well, why did you put that there? Walking Dead has been notoriously meticulous, leaving little hints and signs as to what's coming. But they didn't with the secret that Hope was holding, as we know, that she ended up killing the pregnant woman the night the mother died. Also, with the fact that they hadn't killed walkers, that was something I was thinking, okay, maybe they're trying to do something with that. No, just fell flat. So these are kind of minor things, but I feel like overall they're things that when you add them all up, they give the show less impact because it doesn't feel as thought out, as put together, because things that you may be looking for, you're not rewarded for it as an audience member. So yeah, I found that one a little bit disappointing, but the group is off. They're going to find the dad, at least until Felix and Huck think that they'll be able to convince the group to go back to Campus Colony. I really do think that eventually they will decide to make the trek back there to realize that it's gone. And then that's going to put them on a blitz to Civic Republic. Speaking of that, that is kind of a really interesting point where the episode ends. Elizabeth Kublek, I'll call her Liz from now on. She has a scene at the end of the episode where a soldier comes in, and he's really messed up about what they did to Campus Colony. And he goes to her thinking that maybe she can set his mind straight on why they did it and just reinforce the whole mission and the whole goal. She doesn't do it very convincingly. And from the beginning of that scene, I thought that she was going to kill him. This was, reinforced when she starts turning on all these appliances that make a lot of noise, turning it up and stuff. I was like, okay, she's making a noise buffer so that she can bam, bam, get rid of this dude. But no, she's unable to do it. And we find out this is because Elizabeth Kublek, Liz, has remorse. She's got remorse herself. And so if you're wondering the second time why she turned all those appliances on, it was to drown out her own thoughts telling her that she did the wrong thing. It was to be a constant, loud, noisy reminder of the mission, of why they're doing this. But then she breaks down, showing that she's not even convicted. She's not solid in her convictions. And this is weird for me because I feel like it makes the antagonist, you have almost too much empathy for them. And The Walking Dead has always done this, okay? They've had antagonists with real depth so that you can see their perspective and see where they went wrong and see how they ended up how they are. But I think with this situation, it's just too much in that direction. She doesn't like what she's doing. Period. Negan, some people like Negan, people like Alpha, you see where they went wrong, but at the end of the day, they liked what they were doing and they chose to do it. And they don't regret it. She's showing remorse, regret. She doesn't really like what she's doing. And so I think what that ends up doing, it's interesting, it's a new direction, but I think ultimately what it ends up doing is it gives you less of a satisfying conflict, good and evil, protagonist-antagonist type relationship. And so ultimately, I don't know, I'm afraid this show might end up falling flat. We're only 3 episodes in, so absolutely not. I'm not making a judgment on whether this show is going to be good or not, but I'm just seeing several different things that are falling flat, great things, that I'm like, okay, they're building up to something, and then they kind of fall flat. So hopefully those are the exceptions and not the rule. But only time will tell. So, guys, that is the reaction, the biggest takeaways, to recap, the review, my thoughts on episode 3 of The Walking Dead World Beyond. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I chatted up with you guys after several hours after and days after, even pretty much up until the next episode. So feel free to leave a comment, even if this video you're watching days later. Anyway, guys, leave a like on the video if you like the video. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so that you don't miss as we cover this and a whole host of movies and TV shows that we love, that you guys love. Leave us suggestions as well down in the comments. We're always taking that. If you're into tech and video games, we have a sister channel, the Lotta Quente Ledger. I've got a show called The Granite Geek Show where I talk about that kind of stuff, as well as we have more TV shows over there and even sports. So if you're into that, go check that out as well. We got a bunch of content for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, as always, and I will see you in the next one for episode 4. Peace.